Hello everyone, welcome to round 3 of the one-ship fight night thing we have going on here. Team 1 is attacking the facility and Team 2 is defending. We have an interesting set of rules for this one. This one's a little bit different than the other ones. Team 2, specifically Zopto, was allowed to bring a single heavy battleship, and that is their one ship. So Team 2 has a super heavy asset to defend the facility, whereas Team 1 gets extra players to push into the facility. We will see how this goes. The typical rules for this fight night is that everyone gets 1,000 points to make one ship. You can only bring one ship. The allowable hulls are listed in the rules section in the community events thing on the main Neb server. There's a bunch of mods in this thing too, so we have some very interesting weapons and ships to go hitting here. The team chats are in complete fucking chaos as Zippy has become Minos Prime, for some reason. Anyway, both teams deploying on this really cursed map. This is pillars rotated, if you didn't notice. This is pillars, but on its side, which you would think wouldn't affect the gameplay of Pillars all that much, but it really does. Pillars Rotated is a very interesting map that has its own unique sort of playstyle to it, which is kind of interesting here. Team 1 attacking the facility has mostly deployed sort of in the place where C normally is, trying to flank the facility around the open side of the map, it looks like. This is a Ceres-class destroyer, if I remember the name of this ship correctly from the mod. I have absolutely no idea what any of these ships are, like I said before. Let's take a look. I want to see what the battleship is that the team brought. They brought a Jupiter-class with I'm seeing lots of... Oh, they're the guns. So I think these are the 605mm gun casemates all along the side of this thing. Yeah, a very heavily armed ship here. That's going to defend the facility. The rules is that Zopto needs to just use it to defend the facility. They can't really move outside of the facility. Those are the rules. Team 1 here, it looks like they deployed really heavily here. It looks like they're going to do a push through open space here. Not a lot of ships defending the facility here. Team 1 does have hull advantage here. Just tuning back in, why is there a Jupiter? Alright, so for this match, the rules are a bit different. Team 1 gets more players, and Team 2 gets a Jupiter-class to defend the facility. So we've modified the rules a bit for a fun little scenario here. So we'll see if the extra ships that Team 1 has can break through the Jupiter and the defenders on this facility here, or if the Jupiter is enough to stop this push. Internet already pushing up here. They have the pure casemate. They have fixed 450s and a fixed 350 gun, long-range fire support. All of these gun turrets are fixed, by the way, so they have to angle their ship to the target. They are already spotted by High Score, as High Score already puts out the jamming. They are once again bringing this blunderbuss, jamming, and plasma torch ship that they've been bringing in the previous engagements. We have a lot of other stuff from Team 1 here. I'm really curious about this Flatpack here. Does it have the plasma turret? It does! Team 1 was talking about this in the lobby before. They were wondering if they could bring a T-81 to see if they could break the armor on that Jupiter-class. The Jupiter-class armor is, I think, 56 or something. It's very heavily armored. I don't think that this team actually has a lot that can break it. Felipe has a railgun and rocket launcher torch ship here. I'm trying to, like, there's so many ships and players here that I'm trying to, like, get an accurate spread on what's actually being played. Captain James flanking around the top with a Jones-class here. Slightly below them, we have a Viscount, a plasma Viscount operated by Ziggy here. Very nice. We have a missile beam destroyer as well taking position behind this rock here. Missile trades are already happening. These are ACT, HE frag. I think these were AMMs going for missiles that were launched, although the beam point defense that a lot of these ships has are very effective at shooting down incoming missiles. We have another one of these missile oddities guarding the point as well. Where's that Jupiter? The Jupiter's already has its broadside out. Command Hodge missiles out from the Jupiter, not the Jupiter, the Oddity creature. These are being fired at. No one is locked. Those command missiles might miss if the track isn't good enough. Plasma already starting to go into Changeling's torch ship here. The lock goes out, These missiles, these command missiles now have target, but the laser PD absolutely just obliterates all of those incoming missiles. That was high scores laser. That PD weapons are very effective. Wait, the Jupiter has skiffs? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Jesus Christ, it does. What even are these ships? I don't even know. Really? Okay, so Davenant has once again forgot the rules and brought a hull that you can't bring. Are those heavy plasma turrets? Jesus fucking Christ. Davenant showed up late, has no idea what the fuck the rules are, and is just vibing. Long-range laser weapons trading fire here out in the open here, as that was the Jupiter opening fire out on changeling ships here. The heavy plasma also goes downrange without any gun plotting centers. Oh, one gun plotting center. Those heavy plasma guns are going to be pretty inaccurate. More of these command missiles out, although these are likely going to get intercepted. High scores, laser point defense should be in the area to destroy those. Oh, there comes some of the lasers. Yep, there it is. That laser weapon is really fucking strong. Good lord. One thing we have noticed here with this event is that there is a lot of jamming being used. These ships, you only have 1k to use, and the ships are very vulnerable, meaning that jamming is a very useful thing to have on your fleets here. These missiles are direct HE frag. I think those were AMMs fired at range against missiles that were already intercepted. 2 S3H going wide here. These were fired from... Jar has a S3H creature in the backline here. These are homing in. The laser PD, it looks like, is going to just obliterate those. 2 craft from Leviathan. It looks like Leviathan is once again bringing in the carrier creature. I don't know why you would bring this thing. Jesus Christ, it looks so stupid. The carrier Oddity is such a choice. Missiles still getting intercepted by those laser weapons. iScore is starting to burn out that laser shooting down the missiles, but... Neko, do you like the names? Flooded Cafe... Cat Girl... Block this, you filthy casual. Those are the names? Those are pretty standard names. It's standard names. Cat Girl. Missiles go out into... Tasty Cookie's Beamstone here. This Beamstone getting caught out in the middle by a lot of Team 1 ships. Does do... I think it did a bit of damage before it went down. No, I'm not seeing much damage on these things at all. These are S2s. These are missiles from a mod. I'm assuming they behave similar to S2s. It looks like they are. They're getting seduced by the chaff, unfortunately, but this Beamstone is already effectively mission killed. It has 6 restores on it. Maybe not, but it's still under fire. Here come the Rotary Plasma here from the Viscount here. The Rotary Plasma Viscount has been a very strong build. We've been seeing lots of damage output from the thing, and it's also very maneuverable. Starshield S2 is more health, but less maneuver, and only single seeker. I see. Okay, so a little bit different. They still behave like missiles, though. More of these Command Hodge missiles out. They have a target lock on... Nothing. No target lock yet on any of these ships. Those command missiles will likely miss if the lock is not provided. The accuracy of the track is likely not good enough. Plasma coming down from this... whatever this thing is here. Putting plasma into Solar's torch ship here, although this torch ship has already started to take a lot of fire from other ships. These missiles, yep, they miss. The track quality is not good enough. The lock coming in too late for those missiles. I think... Where are the missiles exactly? What? Okay, cool. Thank you, Nebulous, for whatever the fuck that was. The frames. The frames have kicked in. Cyclone Squadron doing what it can to intercept those missiles. Kinda useful. Flatpack here, still putting plasma out. It peaked with Changeling here to put fire into Solar here. Blacksmith under RPF fire, it looks like. Will those deal any damage? Tasty Cookie, looks like that is a... Was that a disconnect or surrender? Where are they? That was a surrender. They are out of the fight. Their Keystone has already been cored. That is 1 kill for Team 1 here. The Jupiter trying to put fire into Team 1's ships here, although Team 1 is just hiding behind these rocks here. They do not want to engage that thing. Double beam goes out into this this Jones here as it gets crossfired. HIMARS, and was the other one Bell, or who was the other Beamstone? Bell was the other Beamstone. Bell and HIMARS have been doing a really good job coordinating their Beamstones this entire tourney, by the way. They've always been together in formation. They've always been supporting each other. Very nice to see. Ghost Dragon with the long flank around the side here, using the heavy plasma cannons to get crossfire shots on a lot of Team 1 ships here. Those will start ending up if they start to hit. Plasma out from this Jones as well, trying to strip the armor on some of these ships. They want to save those plasma rounds for the Jupiter so they can actually start dealing damage. Rotary plasma coming out from Kenobi here. Kenobi has been has been doing very good this tourney. Both matches they've played, they've gotten well over 30k with these rotary plasma builds they've been bringing. Massive damage from these ships here. Let's see, did they have the gunplot, gun coordinating, gunplot? Yep, they are gunplot maxing, doing incredible damage. Solar has been pretty heavily crippled here. No restores. They are effectively mission killed at this point. More rotary plasma out into the healthy ship here. This one was a rocket plasma torch ship, as it is going to get cored pretty quickly here out in the open. Zopto trying his best to support the allied ships, although Team 1 has been doing a really good job of isolating this this Jupiter so that it can only engage limited targets. Although the Jupiter has started to engage Kenobi, will these start to hit? Some damage. Doesn't look like that really pinned a whole lot, as the Kenobi swiftly moves behind cover and is fine. Lost Leviathan is confused about something. I'm not entirely sure what happened. General Stop trying to engage the flanking Keystone from Ghost Dragon here. Ghost Dragon spotted on burn through, but not on track, as Tonic begins to pump fire down range to try and find it. That Jupiter trying to put fire down range. They are firing at Microsoft Edgelord's Destroyer up here. All shells miss. Team 1 doing a really good job of dodging those massive barrages from that big ship here. Creature of Steel starting to take fire here. Fires rotary plasma downrange back at Bell. Bell takes a little bit of damage, as both ships look like they are going to withdraw to cover and not take that engagement. General Stop continuing to push into this Keystone here. It is now locked and detected. General Stop does have the ability to deal with this flanker here. It has pushed up too far, and those long-range plasma weapons are going to start taking damage here. Although, curiously, RPF fire being fired at this Keystone. Rotary, that's heavy plasma back down range on General Stop. That was from Davenant trying to support their ally at long range, although heavy plasma at this long range without much gunplot doesn't really deal much damage. Barely keep up with normal Neb having only basic game knowledge, but when you throw a mod with brand new ships and weapons, yeah, I'm lost. Yep, that was sort of the point of this fight night, is it's chaos. No one has any idea what the fuck is going on. We've had to ban several weapons because they've been super overpowered. Spear of Starlight taking massive fire from Kenobi. Kenobi just tearing apart these two torch ships at the moment, as looks like plasma starts going into the Jupiter here. The Jupiter's casemates are not pointed to where this ship is coming in from. It gets free shots in, although rotary plasma against a ship of this armor is not going to do a whole lot. Regular OSP plasma starting to come down range from the Flatpack here, starting to tear through the armor of this this Jupiter here. Tonic taking missile hits. I think those came from Shrike's missile oddity here. Getting support fire for Ghost Dragon's Snow up top. HIMARS gets a good beam flank into Nick here. Takes severe damage. Drives are down. Reactor is down. HIMARS with Best Girl. But Best Girl's missing the beam. They need to get that operational before any supporting fire comes in. Bell just kind of chilling in the middle here, trying to wait for ANS ships to poke so they can get a beam crossfire on them, although Team 1, I should say, knows that that beamstone is there. They have identified that there is a beamstone in the relative area. High score goes down, takes massive fire from the sledgehammer here. The Jupiter pumping massive damage out. Rotary Plasma continuing to go down into Joy Killer here. This is another torch ship that is being picked apart by Ziggy here. Ziggy getting beamed. A bad aim point for the beam, hitting the front of the ship. There's a better aim point. Starting to cook the internals of that ship there. CIC down. This poor, that poor ship is now caught out in the open in full view of Team 2. Team 1 diverting their fire to the battleship here. It is just pumping out fire, being a massive damage sponge. You can start to see the damage adding up super quickly on this this torch ship here. Changeling's torch ship pushed in and just got picked apart. Team 1 still trying to deal with this flanking Keystone, although the more important engagement is happening over here at the facility here. Threat is undetected, just hiding out in the open here, putting down plasma downrange, although it does get spotted. Reactor detonation from, that was Solar's Spear of Starlight here, briefly hiding a lot of the Team 1 ships here. Threat still just slinging plasma at the big ship here. Sledgehammer fires off a series of AMMs at who knows what. I think there were missiles incoming that got destroyed by the detonation. Sledgehammer hasn't taken a whole lot of damage yet. Still pretty fine. Some of the drives taking a bit of damage, but this thing is built super fucking strong. Looks like they're trying to finish off Zippy's Viscount here. Yep, it's a massive shell barrage into the Viscount. Yeah, massive damage immediately reds out several of the things on the bottom. Kenobi deciding perhaps pushing that place is not the greatest idea. We have a DC from Shrike. What was Shrike playing? Shrike was playing the missile oddity here. It is now in the hands of Internet Explorer. Captain James pushing out into Bell's Beamstone as Bell's Beamstone gets like its third kill this match. Very good positioning from Bell. HIMARS Vescral has fully repaired its beam and is operational. It is looking to perhaps help Bell and the Team 2's big frontline ball here to engage this push onto the facility. Although Team 1 is starting to lose ships here quite rapidly. The massive firepower from the battleship, very hard for them to deal with. Jamming out from both sides as Vescral deploys jamming from the top here, trying to flank over, although it appears that Captain James, their target, is already dead. Bell had his drive sniped out by a missile, it looks like. Fortunately for him, there's no one in the area to take advantage of that. That might have been a strike from Leviathan, actually. Team 1 trying to push up into that battleship while remaining partially in cover is posing a massive challenge out on the open side of rotated pillars here. As Team 2 has positioned their ships really optimally to defend the facility. The plasma ship has been spotted and starts to get fired on. It's trying to dive into cover here. It is very fast. I think there's a sun drive on this thing. Nope. That's a reinforced thing, and it's still going 52 meters per second. It is able to get into cover down here, although that being said, there are still threats that it has to deal with. S3H going up and under, potentially into... Oh, that might stage onto the Flatpack here. Or potentially Spy Eye or Dual Front. We will see if these missiles get through. Hard kill in these mods has proven monstrously effective at dealing with missiles. You can see the beam point defense is trying to fire at some missiles right now. They stage! Unfortunately, it looks like they missed. The Flatpack is still fine. Felipe tries to flank from below, trying to get fire into the into Zopto's battleship. The battleship just completely unfazed by anything that's going on. The missile Oddity starting to take a lot of fire as Team 1 refocuses its fire onto the target. I have no idea what those shells are, but those look like they hurt. Yep, the side of this Jones completely stripped of armor pretty much instantaneously. Heavy plasma from Davident going out into the Spy Eye here. Still pretty inaccurate at this range, though. They do get a target lock, though. We'll see if that affects the outcome of these salvos. Much more effective, immediately reading the CIC on Spy Eye's ship here. Team 1 looks like they caught... Did they catch the... No! Snow manages to retreat and is fine. ANS not able... Sorry, Team 1 not able to catch the flanker ship here. 2 S3H hits into the bottom of this torch ship. No point defense that can intercept those. It takes a lot of damage. The battleship has barely taken any damage at all. Oop. That is a magazine cook-off, work speed debuff in the thing, although this thing does have a lot of things buffing its DC, so it should probably be fine. Battleship trading fire with Bold Cross here. Bold Cross loses its CIC. It's able to drift, though. Most of the shells missing. They're desperately trying to get that CIC back online so they can start dodging that incoming fire. The flank from below is still not really going to Team 1's favor, if I had to say something about it. CIC immediately getting damaged again. Unfortunate for Brill here, as they're just caught out in the open, taking a pounding from that battleship. As Sledgehammer just continues to pump fire downrange at all of these ships trying to push into the cap. My own AGKP stages into me, says Heimars. Yep, they've taken a lot of damage, as it looks like Kenobi's just going to finish them off here. Oh! But the S3H AGKP cores the middle! Gun plot. Gun coordinating and reactor down. Ammo, the magazine redded. Hallow being very bold here, staying out in the open, orbit dodging to the best of their ability, taking fire and putting fire back into the BB. The BB has swapped its attention to them. Most of those shells slow enough to dodge, but some of them they're taking some hits, especially from up above. Internet getting a flank from above with this 450, 350 device. Bell continuing to just pick apart enemy ships. That is another kill for Bell as they finish off Bold Cross here in the middle. Team 1 rapidly losing ships to the meat grinder on the facility. Still a lot left in Team 2's tanks here to defend the facility. This battleship, the main one here, it is just surviving exceptionally well. Starting to take some damage to some of its drive systems, but other than that, it's... I mean, like, this thing has 14 restores. This thing is fine. AMM's out in the back. I think those were after missiles that were already shot down, I believe. Team 1 just getting picked apart one ship after another by the massive death ball at the facility here. Still a lot of functioning ships other than the battleship, like I said, to defend the point here. Davenant's been completely undamaged. There is I think this is another plasma, yep, another plasma torch ship in the back, just hanging out, waiting for its moment to strike. Threat under fire. Plasma flat pack. Target locked, trying to retreat to safety here. It has done a really good job of just staying intact in this massive chaotic engagement. Davenant now at close range with the heavy plasma turrets. Will these deal damage to Felipe? It looks like it already has, taking out the Spinet and the Stinger. More plasma misses, the inaccuracy really showing without any gunplot centers in that thing. Ghost Dragon still on the top of the map here, still has an effective long-range barrage ship. Levy's been locked. Railfire downrange into the battleship, trying to do into the Marauder. Team 1 doing whatever they can to deal damage to these ships defending the facility. They're just, I don't think they have the damage output to core through these. Bell and Internet getting a flank over the top here, pushing into Team 1 now as a lot of their assets have been cleaned up here. Although Kenobi finds Ghost Dragon, puts a lot of fire down range, cores the drive and the reactor, shuts down that ship for now. Kenobi has to be careful because there are enemy ships in the area that still pose a threat to them. Best Girl is still functional. Bell is in the area as well as Internet if they decide to pivot upward. There goes the reactor. Citadel CIC eating a lot of that damage, but this destroyer is not coming back anytime soon. Regular OSP Plasma still going out into the battleship here. Team 1 still trying to figure out how to deal with this thing. Leviathan Eucomedian. Is that an HEKP direct command S2? God damn it. Jesus Christ. Tonic's taking heavy damage, but is still functional. Same can be said for General Stop's Amatrezu. Hit starting to go into the Flatpack thread as it expertly dodges behind cover instantaneously. Incredible. Team 1, realizing that they are being flanked from above, starts putting fire back, but these ships are still perfectly healthy, flanking down. Supporting fire from Hallow, it looks like, as they try and get fire onto Dune and Mimer from the Internet Explorer. Beam out from Bell onto Amatrezu. Not really a good aim point. There's a better aim point. That's going to start dealing damage really quickly here. Pepperbox down. Mark 64 down. A lot of the ammo elevators, the magazine down. This ship is now combat ineffective. It has one restore left. It can either choose to restore the weapons or the magazine. Bell doing really good with their pretty much entirely vanilla beamstone. I don't think this thing has any modded components on it at all. Nope, some modded stuff. But other than that, basically vanilla. Show has been knocked out here as Ghost Dragon is now out of the fight. Kenobi picking this thing apart. They are beginning to push over the rock here. Best Girl also still operational, getting beams out into Microsoft Edgelord's destroyer here. Takes a little bit of damage. Not a whole lot. Missiles out to hit that destroyer there. Perhaps Team 1 not realizing that it's already dead. Best Girl is about to get spotted here. As, yep, Kenobi immediately begins firing at the flank of Best Girl here. Best Girl immediately drives down. Those rotary plasma cannons being very effective weapons. Magazine down. Best Girl's probably going to go down here really quick. Nothing in the area to really support it. Back on the facility cap here, the battleship is flanking around the rock here to try to catch out the ships that are trying to flank under the map here. Elvish Knife has been pretty much entirely picked apart by the plasma fire barrage from Ox and Davenant. Davenant now putting fire into Spy Eyes, Sensitive Femboy Shark. I don't think Team 1 has anything left that can actually really damage the battleship anymore. I think that this battleship is just too much for them to chew through. Kenobi doing really well for themselves, but unfortunately alone they are not going to be able to take out that that Jupiter. As yeah, there are still 4 functioning ships, including the BB, defending the facility here. 5 if you count this one. Bell is still active with their beamstone too. They are pivoting back around. Leviathan gets one of their Catgirl fighters shot down. Oh, never mind. Shot down. Not shot down. Stuck in a rock on trying to return to the carrier. That's tragic. Kenobi just continuing to pick apart Best Girl here. This thing is going to go down pretty quickly. It has 1 DC team with 2 people left. Massive fires all over the ship. I have a feeling this Keystone is going to die to damage control team death. Oh, HIMARS doing the interesting tech of having the damage control team run back and forth between modules, therefore keeping it out of modules that it might die in. That is a very interesting tech you can do with damage control teams, where you just keep them moving. If they're moving around the ship like that, they cannot take damage to fires because they are not in compartments that have fires going on in them. Sledgehammer absolutely obliterating this poor flat case here. This thing goes structure broken. It is not surviving as it tries to rush down the battleship, perhaps trying to get a reactor overload. It is CIC down. It is drifting. I have a feeling it's not going to be in range of the battleship, though, to make that reactor overload count. Although, even if it went off, I don't think that Team 1 has enough damage-dealing things to take advantage of an armor-stripped BB. Yeah, this battleship still has an escort from the, in the form of John Bolt's, plasma. Nope. Laser torch ship. Bell immediately gets obliterated by Kenobi. Yep. Bell complaining that the game is unbalanced after getting practically 5 kills on their own. Kenobi swapping fire to the torch ship, escorting the battleship. This is a really optimal angle for them to engage that thing at. Already doing a lot of damage to this thing's reactors. Microsoft with the missile dump, although the point defense lasers doing their jobs quite effectively here. A missile counter battery out into Edge fails completely due to Act Seekers. Kenobi's magazine goes down at the worst possible time, right as the battleship sets upon it. At this angle, that armor is not going to bounce any of those shells, and that is massive damage out. The massive broadside barrage instantly frying this ship. Flatpack reactor detonates on the sledgehammer. The battleship has been armor stripped, although with how little Team 1 has left, I don't think there's anything they have that can really do anything. Kenobi goes down here to the battleship. Any ships that Team 1 has left that can potentially damage the battleship have been pretty isolated and cut off from the rest of their team. Although the facility's been left pretty reasonably open if they can get a flank around. The heavy plasma marauder is still there. Another reactor detonation up top as Bell detonates. Taking stock of things, Team 2 has the battleship, John Bolt's laser torch ship. Heimar's best girl is effectively out of the fight. Internet Explorer's torch ship is pretty much intact. They still have a missile Keystone here with not a whole lot left in the tank. The heavy plasma obelisk is still functional, and Ox still has their torch ship remaining. Meanwhile, ANS really only has like this one backline torch ship. Edge's missile thing, which is currently rushing down the BB. Taking massive fire for its troubles. It's still firing its beam. It is still fighting back, but it's, this thing is not going to last long. Missile salvo out from Edge. Within the point defense range of the battleship, those things just get torn apart instantaneously. The hard kill in these mods is fucking insane. Holy shit. Elvish Knife is combat ineffective and is pretty much just a CIC and a drive. I don't think that Team 1 has anything left in the tank to deal with this. I think that this is a GG. I think that Team 2 takes this easily. Surrender from HIMARS. That is the finishing blow into Elvish Knife, I believe. No. Elvish Knife's still alive despite the structure break. Those weapons, the shells that the battleship's firing, not enough to break DT on this torch ship. Surrender and disconnect from Bell. OSP Plasma going into the battleship as 100 mil goes out as well. I don't even think the 100 mil, is the 100 mil even pinning? No, the 100 mil is not even pinning. This battleship's armor is still heavy enough to deflect 100 mil. Plasma out from Joykiller. Trying to finish off this this Jones to defend the BB. BB swaps fire to the Jones. Those shells immediately hitting. Reactor detonation up top from HIMARS as the damage just adds up and they're unable to save their ship. Microsoft Edgelord out of missiles, now just orbiting the battleship at close range. Trying to act as a meat shield for this Jones. The Jones losing its CIC, caught out in the open here. This thing is not long for this world. Battleship continuing to fire its massive broadside salvos into an already dead ship. Hallow tries to flank from below to take the point. Unfortunately, they just get picked apart by the enemy that's still surviving. The heavy plasma bulker out of ammo now, but did its job quite effectively here. The battleship is just still completely fine here, pumping out a lot of fire into all of these crippled Team 1 ships. And there goes that Jones, which leaves one crippled Jones, one backline carrier Oddity, and one backline torch ship left on Team 1. Surrenders from Team 1 here as both sides recognize that it is definitely over. We are waiting on the surrender from Levy, Kashkin, and Hallow here to end the match. I think that's definitely... there's no way that Team 1 can win this. That's a GG for Team 2 here. They successfully defended the facility against overwhelming enemy numbers with their battleship. This battleship completely untouched by Team 1 still. Should also mention that this thing has 3 damage control complexes in it, I believe. Yep, 3 damage control complexes. Hallow has restored their Jones. It is now combat effective again, putting some fire down range. I think that was into the missile destroyer here, although most shots missing, unfortunately. Helios still just chilling in orbit. The craft from the battleship's backpack hangar just hanging out. Hallow still does have some weapons. Those lasers shouldn't be enough to breach the armor on this torch ship, though, as the torch ship responds with plasma fire. The battleship has now acquired Hallow now, as it starts pumping in long-range fire support for its allies on the facility. Hallow going for the facility. Yep, not going to be enough. Plasma stripping the armor on the Jones here. Yeah, and the Jones is dead, leaving just Kashkin in this backline rail creature. Oh, and also Leviathan's here too, and their creature carrier. This thing can designate? Jesus, okay, that's strong. The rail torch ship in the backline is detected. Looks like Internet has already swapped fire to it. Levy is just kind of hiding in the rocks here. There is no time limit on this game, tragically, and probably to our big mistake, meaning that unless Levy actually dies, this game will last just straight up forever. That was... looks like RPF being fired into the ship. Actually dealing damage, okay. Dealing quite a lot of damage. There's the surrender, and so it's just Levy now. Damn, I should have been taking screenshots from these matches. Shit, I just realized if I want to make these into videos, I need thumbnails. I'm great at being a YouTuber streamer. There's the surrender from Leviathan, as yeah, that makes it official. GG for Team 1 as Team 2 takes this with the Battleship.